I'm really, really excited because I'm joined in this studio right now by the band Hrafnagaldur. Right? Was I remotely in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Great.
It's always like a crapshoot when I start to pronounce Icelandic, you know.
Oh, it was perfect.
Thanks. What does it mean? Raven something or other?
Magic.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
God, you guys are awesome.
It's from the old texts actually. It's part of one of the old stories.
Wow. It's so cool. Unfortunately, we're on the radio because you guys look so cool also.
Thank you.
It's like, as I said before, it's like being invaded by Vikings here. Perfect.
In a good way.
Yeah. In a
Best way possible.
Pleasant kind of invasion.
when invaded by Vikings, the best thing to do is smile and say thank you. Or it's just going to be worse. All right, we're going to talk to you guys in a second, but you're going to play a few songs, so why don't we start with one? Okay. Do you want to introduce it at all?
Yeah, the first song we're going to be playing today is it's called Jafnvægi endurheimt, or what's it called, like Balance Regained, and it's the last couple of stanzas in the old, which one? Völuspá? Yep. And it's about how after Ragnarök the dawn comes anew on a new world.
Oh, okay, cool. Take those microphones as close to you as you can and still be comfortable.
All right.
This is Hrafnagaldur.
We should mention that this is actually a cover song. The original band, Fortið, they're called, and they very graciously allow us to cover two of their songs.
Oh, that's nice.
They did like a metal version, so we sort of folked up a metal version of a folk song.
So wait, this is not like an old Viking song?
It's old text, but the song, like the verse,
Modern music.
the
The
music
music.
is new.
I thought you were actually going to say it's a cover song of an old Viking song. I thought, that's pretty cool.
Oh, we're sorry.
Like you're going to give a royalty to some guys back in the year 1000. Okay, I'll stop talking. I really want to hear this. This is Hrafnagaldur.
Sér hún koma öðru sinni, jörð úr ægja græna, falla fossar, flýgur örn yfir, sá á fjalli fiska veiðir, finnast æsir á iðavöllum, og málteinur mátt kann dæma, minnast þar á megin dóma, og á fimbultís fornar rúnir. Þar munu eftir undursamlegar gullnar töflur, í grasi finnast þær í árdaga áttar höfðu. Þá kná hænir hlaut við kjósa og burir byggja, bræðra tveggja vindheim víðan vitið en eða hvað, eða sal sér standa. Sólu fegra gulli þaktan, á gimle þar skulu dyggvar, dróttir byggja og aldur daga, yndi snjóta. Þar kemur dreki fljúandi, náður frá neðan, frá niða fjöllum, ber sér í fjöðrum, flýgur völl yfir, níðhöggur nái, nú mun hún
Awesome.
Thank you.
Wow. Man. Wow, I'm just like a little bit speechless. It sounds great, I can hear it through the headphones, but here in the room, it sounds really cool. It's like
Thanks a lot.
I started to go into a trance or something. Wow.
That was the first time we've actually did a recorded at all version of that song. We've done like the shorter version, which is just the second half before, but that was before we had the harps. So
this was really cool. We'll make sure we like cut out these music clips and then we can play them.
Ooh, absolutely.
I want to hear this all the time. Okay, so let's find out who you guys are and talk about the band a little bit. Do you mind introducing yourselves?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all. I'm Birita. I'm from the Faroe Islands, but sorry.
That's okay.
I'm Birita from the Faroe Islands, but I've been in Iceland for almost 10 years now, and I'm married here, and I have a son here, so this is where I am.
Mm-hmm.
As for music and stuff like that, I've mostly just been in choirs, and then we sort of started out as like a jamming thing. Like whenever we were partying, someone would bring a drum, someone would start singing and stuff. So that's how I started singing with these guys.
That's incredible. And you are you
we
know
me.
who you are.
I'm Elaine. I'm from Dublin, and I came over here. It's my second year now living in Iceland, and I've always been fascinated by music, and music really is what keeps me going, and it's something that I really hold very sacred to myself. So being able to jam with, other great people and having that same, inspiration for it and drive, it's just been a pleasure. And we want to see where this goes, just to be creative with it, and just being, just keep doing what we love to do. So that's my story.
That's great.
I'm Anna Margrét. I'm from Iceland, and I'm classically trained on the flute. I didn't actually bring it, but we're sort of very gradually adding it. But I've also done choirs for 10 years, so that's kind of where I come from musically. And
Wow.
I met these guys. We're all members of a Icelandic Viking reenactment group called Hrafnagaldur, and that's how we met. That's when we started sort of jamming together, and they formed the band. I was a later add, actually. I was added in the fall, but I'm very happy to be with them, and it's been really fun.
I can imagine. And you, sir?
Yeah, I'm Sigurboði, and I founded this band. I was asked by a friend who actually runs the Viking festival in Iceland. He's called Jóhannes. He owns the Viking hotel and so on. And he asked me if I could make a little music project for his Viking festival as well as his bar, so we could play for guests at the bar. And I knew these girls, so I just kind of asked them if they were in for doing a little project.
Mm-hmm.
And this was never meant to be a huge band, but then we just kind of kept going, and it's been so much fun, and we intend to go on until we die, I guess.
We intend to start writing our own music, and
Yeah. We're
that's the
working on
next
that.
step.
I'm just trying to imagine how you jam with music like this.
We do a lot of improv, actually.
Yeah.
We start our practices with improv. We've recorded a couple of improv songs and put them online just
they're
for
on
other.
our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
We were actually playing yesterday at a museum for like an hour and a half, and most of that was just improv.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you describe the instruments you're playing? It's too bad people can't see these. They're just beautiful instruments.
Well, me playing Hrafnagaldur, most of the time it's the skin drums, traditional drums. And if it's not the Irish drum, the bear on, I have the shamanic kind of buffalo drum. And it has a beautiful, like, deep, dull, I wouldn't say dull, but it's like very bellowous sound. That's quite beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I add the drones from the pipe, steel and pipes as well. So that's my part.
We should say that's how we know you.
Yes.
You came in last week.
That's right, for
right?
Paddy's Day, St. Patrick's
Yeah, for St. Patrick's Day, and
Yeah.
played the Ellen pipes.
Yes.
Which was a big hit, by the way. We got a lot of interest
fantastic.
in that interview.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah, it was great. And I guess this is just a harp. Not just a harp, but
It's a Celtic harp.
Celtic harp.
I guess there's a slight difference between a Celtic harp and orchestral harp, but
Yeah. Size.
size for one, sound and everything. And I don't have it right here, but I sometimes play a dulcimer, which is an American instrument. A lot of people might recognize it. It kind of looks like Longsville. You play it on your lap.
I didn't know that was an American instrument. I thought would be like Old English or something.
No, it was 18th century.
Really?
America.
Wow.
And so I sometimes I'll play the mandolin as well. I have flutes, and then there's this box here, which is...
Yeah, you have to describe this box.
It's a little hard to describe.
Somebody, for God's sake, describe this box. It's so cool. I'm afraid like a genie's going to come out of there in a second.
It's a hurdy-gurdy, or a wheel fiddle. And it's 11th century. It's an 11th century instrument. The way it works is there's a wheel inside that is basically like the bow for a violin, but instead of dragging it across the string, it just goes in circles all the time. And it has drones as well. And you can play it. It has a keyboard, much like a piano. So you can play the strings while you are turning the crank on the wheel.
Would you mind, is it possible just to produce some sound from it for a second, just all by itself? I'm really fascinated. It's also beautiful. It's like a piece of furniture.
And it's gorgeous. It was hand carved, and he ordered it from a specific guy.
Yeah, there's a guy in Oregon
in the US.
who he makes these from scratch. He goes into the woods, picks out the wood, and it takes him about 7 to 10 months to make one of these.
I can imagine. It's really ornate. That's crazy. I've never seen this instrument in my life. Wow. Are you the only guy in Iceland playing one of those?
I can't say for sure, but I've never seen anyone else.
I bet you are. Pretty cool.
As far as we know.
Are you guys playing, do you have a regular gig at the Viking restaurant?
No. We only go there every once in a while. It's like when he has specifically big groups coming in, sometimes they want some extra entertainment, like while they're all waiting for the next course or something. And then we'll go there and we'll sing and play, and we'll also have a bit of a sort of an intro, like describing the songs. Because our songs are in all sorts of languages. We sing in Faroese, Icelandic, Danish, Norwegian.
Gaelic.
Yes, Gaelic, yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah,
It's coming in now.
Wow.
And like some of them really need a bit of an introduction, because unless you understand what it's about, it's not as exciting.
Right.
So he calls us in when he wants us, really.
Could we hear another song right now? Oh, did you want to say something?
No, I just wanted to say Birita is very theatrical as well, so she tends to act out some of the songs, which can be very entertaining.
I would imagine you guys are in demand around town.
It's increasing.
It's increasing.
It's increasing. When people hear about us or see our stuff online, sometimes we get like, "Oh, can you come play at our wedding or at this museum reception?" We played. Also, Trufela was doing their first. They did the groundbreaking for their new temple, and we were there playing. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
And like the next song we're gonna take sing is called Forn Odins, and it's also from Völuspá.
Okay.
And this is about how Odin gave his eye to gain the wisdom.
Again, this is a cover song from Fortið. They very graciously allow us to cover their songs. So the melody is from them, but the lyrics are old.
Okay. That's amazing. I can't imagine how you, like, I'm just trying to think, learning that song and remembering that this kind of music, because it's not traditional, like, modern pop music, for example. It's like verse, chorus. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Most of our songs don't really have a chorus unless they are songs from the old Faroese Kvæði, which are basically our history in the really olden times before people knew how to read. They would sort of maintain our history, our knowledge about our past and our stories, our sagas really, through song. So one person in each village would learn one song, maybe two, and that would be like their specialty, that's their keeping, and then they would pass it on when they were old. And that song would generally only be sung once or twice throughout the winter. So people would meet in the winter when it's really dark, and they would come together, and it was like a neighborhood family thing, and they would sing and dance. So most of the Faroese really old songs have a lot of verses, and then you have the chorus in between each. But otherwise, most of our songs don't have a chorus because they're based on really old texts that weren't mostly weren't meant for singing. Or if anyone's heard when they do what's it called? Icelandic people help me out. When they do the Odin's text, when they do that, Rímur, yeah.
That was a lovely example of it.
Oh, you all got it.
that's how I sound singing on a Saturday night.
Because it is really weird. Like they sort of oscillate their voice a lot, and it's not really singing the way we do it modern and like today. So it's like, it sounds really unique.
All of this is so unique. I just love, like, when you do that little modulation, it's like, it's really nice. Elaine, does this bear any resemblance to sort of Celtic traditional music?
Absolutely, because we have a style of singing called sean-nós, which really means old style. And it's very much like rímur in a way, because you have this, it's like a chanting style of singing. And it's, again, an oral tradition. People didn't read and write, but all the knowledge was passed down by speaking it to each other. And folklore in Irish is béilgeas, and that translates as knowledge of the mouth. So the oral tradition is something that is quite strong, and it goes again with all these islands. These places that we're singing from, our own influences, are again stemming from this similar way of expressing this music and translate it, like it's transferring from one another orally and in a really beautiful way. And amazingly, there's so many similarities, even though these islands have oceans between them. And yet it all goes back to people expressing this music in a very authentic and original way. And mainstream music will never understand this. Business music, they don't work that way.
No,
so this is why it's quite unique what we're doing.
It's really like a history book.
It really is.
Isn't it? Like just handing down these stories, keeping them alive.
Absolutely.
How can people find out about the band and get in touch with you? You have a website or Facebook page?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page and YouTube. We don't have our own website or anything like that. We're not on Twitter either. But we're on YouTube and Facebook.
but Facebook and YouTube. And we sort of try to regularly post some new stuff, like the improv. We just, record that and practices, and then Sigurboði throws it together and puts it on our YouTube page.
We just record it on a phone though, so but the quality is great.
These days it's pretty good.
Yeah. So we just made business cards. You can have one of these.
Ooh.
Yeah. We just
That's so funny to be handed a business card by a Viking. I expected you were going to give me a piece of rock with some etching on it, like the Flintstones or something.
We should actually do that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Or like a little tile, like a rune or something. This is awesome. But look, so if people want to find out about you, you have a Facebook page and a YouTube page.
Yeah.
Or is it called a channel?
Channel, yeah.
And find out about this band. You guys are cool as hell.
Thank you.
I think you should be booked solid every night of the year, like at parties and weddings, and I mean, it's just so cool. I'm going to find a way to get you guys be in a room with you live again.
Thank you.
Somehow, some way. Are you going to play us out with another one?
Yeah,
that would be fantastic.
This one is all vocal, and this is one of those
vocal and drums.
Vocal and drums. Sorry, and it's one of those Faroese kvæði. And the original one has like, I don't know how many errands, over 50 at least. It's called Regnsmiður, and it's about a dragon and the man who slays it.
You're up for over 50, right? We'll be here. No.
At least 50. I'm going to run out and grab something to eat.
But we've shortened it down to 7.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So this is Birita, Anna, Sigurboði, and Elaine from Hrafnagaldur. Thank you so much for being here. I'm just blown away.
Thank you for having us.
It's lovely. Okay, play us out, please.
Mehan jeg man køa tørriku kongana som jeg vil nå røa. Grani bær godle av heie, bra han synum brande av reie. Sjuror varmenum, grani bær godle av heie. Hunding synger i randar gnøyter skian gjør det her. Eitor vær i svøren tar baurum av til meg. Grane bær godle av heie. Bra han synum brande av reie. Sjuror varmenum. Grane bær godle av heie. Ammer eitur ormurinn glitrar heie likkur. Bregin ein gauur smiur favum han dikkur. Grane bær godle av heie. Bra han synum brande av reie. Sjuror varmenum. Grane bær godle av heie. Ram dara ram dara ram dara ram. Han var særa leikvallum og i mittlum manna herja. Rúver og bætje kjelve staur han lemjer sumar til helja. Grani bær godle av heie. Bra han synum brande av reie. Sjuror varmenum. Grani bær godle av heie. Estan til under heienum og i drønger eika tal. Timmor hesen til davor nir i molta færa. Grane bær godle av heie. Bra han synum brande av reie. Sjuror varmenum. Grane bær godle av heie. Her kom maur av møtlen fram. Angin og i han kjente. Sjuran hatt og høvde bær og finskan bo i hende. Grane bær godle av heie. Bra han synum brande av reie. Sjuror varmenum. Grane bær godle av heie. Ram dara ram dara ram dara ram dara ram dara ram dara ram. Ormen skrin av guttlenon. Taman fraktast via. Sjuror settest av granar bak. Han bøy seg til a rya. Grane bær godle av heie. Bra han synum brande av reie.
sjúrur var orminum, grani bær gulli af hæ.